It's the distant future, the year 5000, and turmoil is afoot. A long-lost stinky sneaker has been discovered in the deepest recesses of the universe. It's the mythical shoe of Sir Willy Wonka, and legend has it that one sniff of this foul footwear makes everything you eat taste like chocolate. Lurking in the dark corners of the galaxy, two groups have emerged in the battle for the putrid penny loafer. On one side, the Space Ninjas. On the other side, the Pirate Squirrels. These two intergalactic foes must now battle head-to-head for the foul footwear. Who will win Sir Willy's stinky sneaker? Stay tuned to find out during another episode of Space Ninjas vs. Pirate Squirrels.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Space Ninjas vs. Pirate Squirrels! Oh my goodness, week number 2. And remember, we're battling for the amazing secret shoe of Willy Wonka, Sir Willy Wonka. So we want to find this thing, and you got to win it because you want everything in the world to taste like chocolate, don't you? Wouldn't that be awesome if you could just eat like a plate of garbage and it tastes like chocolate, or if you were to eat like a jellyfish and it would taste like chocolate? Wouldn't that be awesome? It might not do too good in your stomach, but it would taste like chocolate. It's great. But we're battling for the mythical shoe of Sir Willy Wonka. Are you going to win it today? Are you going to be part of the winning team? Oh, what are you going to be? Are you going to be a space ninja or a pirate squirrel? Hey, last week we did a competition for 30 seconds to see if you could do a handstand for 30 seconds. Well, we're going to do another race right now. So I'm going to see right now, you could race somebody right now, or if you're by yourself, you can do this by yourself for 30 seconds. Let's see if you can do a crab walk. We're going to do like a squirrel type of crab walk across your floor, back and forth 5 times. Can you go back and forth in your room 5 times in 30 seconds? I don't know. Can you? All right, let's see if you can do it. Are you ready? Okay, get stretched out. Stretch it out. Here we go. Stretch those legs. Stretch those legs. Here we go. You know how to do a crab walk, don't you? You go like this on your back and you just crab. You can walk forward or backwards across your room, back and forth 5 times in 30 seconds. Are you ready for this? Oh, I can't wait to hear about these scores. Here we go. Ready? On your mark. Get set. Go! Welcome back, man. So how'd you do? How many laps did you get in there? Did you get on all 5 laps? Man, I'm such awesome. Man, you guys are like real space ninjas, and you guys are like super cool pirate squirrels. I don't know what you are. You still have time to decide what you are before the series ends, okay? But here we go, guys. We're continuing this series, Space Ninjas versus Pirate Squirrels. We go through our Bible. That's right. How are we doing it? We're reading our Bible in a year. We're going through our Bible from the front of the cover to the back of the cover, not skipping around, because if we skip around, you get lost, doesn't it? Isn't that how it works? If you do things backwards in math class, it's sort of you lose where you're going, right? So we're going to go from front to back as we read our Bible in a year through the series here called Space Ninjas versus Pirate Squirrels. And if you were here last week, if you didn't see it, you need to go back and look at week number 1. In week number 1, we talked about a story from Daniel chapter 3 about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The 3 guys who got thrown into fire because they decided they're going to stand for God instead of kneeling to what's not God. They worship only God, and they survived the fire. Amazing, isn't it? Well, today we're going to be reading in Daniel chapter 6. That's right, the book of the Bible, Daniel chapter 6. As we talk about a guy named, well, who none else than Daniel, right? Daniel, there he is. Daniel and the lion's den. Well, whoa, lion's den. Do you like cats? I mean, do you really like cats and big animals, jungle animals? Well, how would you like to be like right next to a jungle animal? How would you like to be right next to a jungle animal before it hasn't eaten in like a week? I wouldn't. Hey, we're going to get a little scary here, so hang on there, guys. Hang on. Here we go. In our story today, we're going to talk about how Daniel, if you remember, Daniel ascended through King Nebuchadnezzar, and he was handed off to a guy named King Darius. Now, King Darius was a guy who loved Daniel. Yeah, King Darius loved Daniel. He thought he was great. He saw how smart he was. So, in fact, he made him one of the top 3 people in his entire government. Yeah, because he saw how much leadership he had and how studly he looked and how amazing he was. And he just loved it. He loved the guy Daniel. He loved him. King Darius loved him. He loved him out so much, he actually ascended even higher than that. He was his favorite person in his political grounds. King Darius loved Daniel so much. And it made everybody else jealous. You see, everybody else who was below him, they knew that Daniel was sort of like the teacher's pet. Now, Daniel didn't go around bragging about his life and how amazing he was and how much more he was loved by King Darius and everybody else, but he everybody was very envious and jealous of who he is. They didn't like him at all. They hated the fact of who he was and how much power he had, how influential he was to the king. So they made a very evil plan, just like what evil people do, right? When they get jealous, what do jealous people do? They try to take out the person that they're jealous of. And they make a very evil plan. You ready for this? Check it out. This evil plan. They know that Daniel serves God. And they know how much he loves and worships God. And how much honor and praise he gives to only him. He doesn't serve statues and fake gods. And he doesn't serve like the wrong things that God doesn't want in our lives. He honors God with his whole life, from his head to his toes. He honors God with everything he has, every breath he takes. And they use that against Daniel. You see, these guys, they trick King Darius. They go to King Darius and say, hey, King Darius, almighty King Darius, you are an amazing man, aren't you? You are such a wonderful king. You know what, King Darius? You should make a law to show how powerful you really are and how godly you really are. You should make a law. And here's the law. We have it written out right here. Just sign your name on it. Well, man, what does the law say? It says that all the people of the land should, for 30 days, 30, for 30 days, they should worship nobody else except you, King Darius. And if anybody doesn't worship you, they should get thrown into the lion's den. Now, King Darius likes that idea. I am pretty awesome, aren't I? Yes, I am pretty amazing. I will sign this law in effect that if anybody worships anybody except for me for the next 30 days, they will be thrown to the lion's den. I am pretty awesome, aren't I? Yes. Oh, yeah. Daniel hears about this. He hears about this law being thrown into effect, and he knows why it's being done. He knows that people are trying to trap him and trick him so that he gets thrown into the lion's pit, and they get rid of him because they don't like him. Daniel goes upstairs. He runs to his bedroom. He runs upstairs to the top floor of his bedroom, and he goes to his window. And he goes to his window like he always does, and he faces his window like he did every time, 3 times a day. And you see, all the people knew this. All these guys were jealous and envious of how amazing Daniel was and how much King Darius loved him. They knew that he couldn't help it. They knew that he had to stop and pray to God, even though the law said he shouldn't. And Daniel gets down on his knees, and he goes upstairs. He faces out his window, and like he does 3 times every day, and he prays, Lord, protect me in this time. I refuse to not listen to you. I refuse to listen to the other laws of man because I worship you and you alone. Help me, O Lord. Help me at this time. Now, you know what? It's just like back then, if they had selfie phones back there, if they had cell phones back there and they could take pictures and videos, there would be guys back there, oh, look at this. Oh, look at that, man. Woo, we got him on video now. Oh, and then they run with this evidence, right? They run with the evidence that's on their video phones in their brain, right? And they run to King Darius. King Darius. Hey, King Darius. Oh, you're not going to believe this. Watch this. And so they play a video, or well, they tell him the story. They tell him, King Darius, your beloved servant, your most amazing man, your second in command, Daniel, has not worshipped you these last 30 days. He has been worshiping another god, and according to the law, you must have him thrown into the lion's den. This made Darius very sad because he loved Daniel. But he knew the law. He knew, well, if I don't throw him into the lion's pit, everybody's going to think I'm a weak king. If I do throw him in the lion's pit, I lose my good friend, a good man, my best general, my best person in government. He didn't know what to do. But king knew what he had to do. He had to throw Daniel into the lion's pit. Now, here at TC3, we don't believe in animal cruelty. We don't believe in also hiring exotic animals into and bringing them in here. So I did the next thing I could do. I tried to find the most amazing, ferocious, fiercest, predatory cat feline I could find. I got to get my jungle gear on now. Oh boy. Oh, pray for me. Okay, here we go. Roar. So you gotta sort of just deal with me here, okay? But here we go. Darius has Daniel taken to the top of the lion's pit. The lion's like an open mouth of a cave, and he orders that Daniel get thrown down into the pit with all these hungry, ferocious, vicious lions that are gonna eat him. Roar. So they throw Daniel down into the lion's pit, and he goes down there, and he falls in there into the lion's pit, and he's just left there overnight. He's left there overnight. And King Darius goes home. He goes home back to his palace, and he doesn't sleep that night. He doesn't sleep at all. He doesn't do anything except for toss and turn, and he struggles, and he has these bad nightmares and these dreams, and he can't find any rest because all he can think about is how his friend Daniel is getting eaten by lions. Maybe not this lion. The next morning, King Darius wakes up super early. I mean, like, that kind of wake up you do before the alarm goes off. I'm talking about Christmas morning kind of wake up, but not in a good way. So he wakes up super early. He puts on his robe as fast as he can. He runs out to the lion's den. He runs out there and he yells down, "Daniel, are you still alive down there?" And Daniel yells back to him, and you can read this in Daniel chapter 6. As this is written down in history, is because it is actually witnessed by so many people. It was written down. We know the story is true. Daniel's alive, and he yells back, "I am alive, as the Lord has saved me." The Lord closed the mouths of all the lions. So, sort of like this, all right? So, the Lord had sent angels down to close the mouths of all the lions. Now, these lions probably didn't like that very much. They were very, very hungry, I'm sure. But Daniel was able to spend an entire night in a den of lions that the angels had closed the mouths of them. And he probably just walked around and started petting the lion, like, "Oh, nice little kitty. Hey, you want some catnip there? Hey, yay, all right. Ooh, I'm going to call you Fred." I mean, Darius orders Daniel be pulled out immediately. And so they lower a rope down. They're able to get Daniel out of the lion's pit. Now King Darius is so grateful for everything that happened. He looks around and says, "You men over there, you tricked me into trying to get my man Daniel killed. You tricked me into this." And he ordered that all of those men who made the law be thrown down into the lion's pit. And do you think there were any angels holding the mouth quiet on those lions? Nope, there was nothing. It was roar, 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 roar. Those lions had lunch that day, all right? They had lunch. So let me ask you this, guys. How well were you able to listen to today's story? Now, as you know, we're competing here for all these points, And last week, we put up 5,000 points. We're going to put up another 5,000 points if you were listening to today's story. So we're going to put some questions on the screen for you in your house. And you're going to pick A, B, C, or D. And you're going to find out, we're going to see who was listening to the story. If you get it right, you get 1,000 points. If you're the first person to get it right, you get 1,000. If you're second, give yourself 500. But if you're first, give yourself 1,000 points. And if you're by yourself, that's okay. Try to get all 5 questions right. You ready? All right, here goes. Question number 1. It's going to be on your screen right now. Who was the king over Babylon? What was the king's name? Was it A, King David, B, King Darius, C, King Davis, or D, King Darius? I wonder who it could be. Which is it? Maybe 5 seconds here. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. D, King Darius. Did you get that? I hope you did. All right, number 2. The royal rulers convinced King Darius to make a new rule that said everyone could pray only to him for the next, how many days? How many days were they supposed to pray and worship King Darius? Was it A, 20, B, 30, C, 40, or D, 60? Oh, don't get tricked. Don't get tricked by letter D, 60. Here it is. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Of course, it's B, 30 days. Good job. You get it? 30 days. All right, number 3. Despite the rule, Daniel continued to pray to God. Where did the other rulers see Daniel praying? Where did Daniel go when he started praying? Was it A, in his bedroom window, B, in his closet window, C, in his kitchen window, or D, in his prayer room window? Ooh, that might be a trick question right there, but don't get fooled. Don't get fooled. Here we go. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. A, in his bedroom window. Here, he went upstairs. All right, number 4. How did the king react when he found out that Daniel had broken the new rule? What did the king do? Was he A, was he upset? B, he couldn't eat? C, he couldn't sleep? Or D, all the above? Well, what would you do if you were going to lose your best friend? What would you do? Well, I wonder what you would do. Man, what would he do? Ready? I wonder A, B, C, or D. 3, 2, 1. D, all the above. Awesome job. Awesome job. All right, last question here. What did Daniel say God's angels did to the lions? What did God's angels do to the lions according to Daniel? Did he A, did he confuse the lions? Hey, what's 10 plus 10? Plus 10, plus 3, plus times 17 to the third square power. B, did he shut their eyes? Hey, nighty-night, sleep tight. C, did he shut their mouths? Or D, did he remove their teeth? Oh, no. Oh, you know this answer, don't you? All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. C, he shut their mouths. So, guys, what do you think? How'd you do? Did you get all 5,000 points? Were you able to get all 5,000? Well, if you didn't, that's okay. But if you got all 5,000, that means you're really, really listening. But you know, whatever you're doing, don't stop there. Because I want you to remember the bottom line today. God wants to be the leader of your life, so you should follow him instead of the crowd. Follow God instead of the crowd. So listen to what God says. Don't listen to what everybody else says, unless you want to end up in a lion's den. But no, let's not do that, right? So listen up. And think about, what is it going to take for you to be able to really dig in and dive into what God has and follow him instead of what the crowd says? Our power verse this month is awesome for this. It's going to help you a whole lot. If you memorize this, Matthew 5:10. Matthew 5:10. We're going to put that on the screen for you at home so you can read this and try to memorize it at your house. You ready? All right, on the count of 3, here we go. If you're sitting, stand up. 3, 2, 1. Blessed are all those who suffer for doing right. The kingdom of heaven belongs to them. Matthew 5:10. Dude, you did great. Oh, by the way, this is Mimi. Yeah, she's one of my cats. I've got 3 cats at home, and she is a royal actress. She's a professional actress, and so thank you very much for coming out here today with us. It's been so much fun hanging out with you today and having Mimi hanging out with us, and man, looking forward to coming back next week as we continue on with Space Ninjas versus Pirate Squirrels. Take care. Till next week. Bye-bye.
Who will win Sir Willie's Stinky Sneaker? Stay tuned to find out during another episode of Space Ninjas versus Pirate Squirrels.